just some facts that I think go against the general consensus that might be out there that, hey, we have to have Riverview open. There are approximately 65, 67 children who are there right now. The hospital was initially built for 98 patients. It now has about 67. The patient population has been dwindling. The employee population, however, has been on the rise. There are currently 401 employees at Riverview Hospital, 270 some odd that are full-time and the rest part-time. But just to show you how arbitrary that number is, there were 375 nearly a year ago. But when we as a state closed High Meadow, the psychiatric treatment center, we had to relocate the employees that worked there. There was about 87 employees that worked at High Meadow. And because of various union regulations, certain employees could not be transferred more than 35 miles from where they originally worked and were being removed from. So 26 employees went from High Meadow to Riverview. Not because the care was needed for those kids, not because somebody determined that these additional 26 employees would be better suited for the child population. It was just because we closed one facility and we had to put 26 people somewhere else. That is not a thoughtful process for treatment, and as a result of having 401 employees caring for 67 children, the cost to care for one child there in 1 year exceeds $1 million a kid. And there are private hospitals out there that do it for less than $500,000 a year. The same level of service, same psychiatrists, doctors, teachers, nurses. We have to look at that. That's common sense. And when an employee gets injured, they file a workers' comp claim, as is their right. Well, the workers' comp claims at Riverview Hospital exceed $2.5 million per year. $2.5 million in workers' comp benefits are paid to the employees who work at Riverview Hospital per year. Doesn't that say that when like hospitals have workers' comp costs that are about $250,000, $150,000, etc., doesn't that say, hey, maybe there's something wrong here? Our goal is to provide the services, exactly these services that these children are getting there now. But if we could do it in a more cost-effective manner, we have an obligation to look at that, to take that first step, to put that plan in place that transitions from this model, which is an extremely expensive model, to a model that provides the same level of service at a lesser cost. And the first thing that should be in our mind is what is in the best interest of the child, not, with all due respect, to find people who work there. By the way, this is no slight on the employees that work there. They applied for a job. Our system calls for them to be there. When they were transferred from High Meadow to, that's not their fault, that's the way the system is. But maybe we should look at the system, because there's something wrong with that picture. 401 employees for 65 kids. $2.5 million in workers' comp costs compared to far less elsewhere. It doesn't make sense. And yet what we have done is taken the very general comment that the state of Connecticut needs to care for these children. No argument here. But if we go no further and we say, well, therefore we cannot close Riverview, let everything stay as it is, we continue to have those costs. Isn't it time for us, especially now, when we are so desperately to provide other services to other people that we can't because our resources are so squeezed, isn't it our responsibility to take that first step and say, can we do this better?